If anyone tells you you can't become financially successful being an employee, they're lying, or they don't know what they're talking about. If you want to know more, stick around. That's going to be our topic for the day. Hi, my name is Jessica. Welcome to the channel. If you're new here, consider subscribing. I upload a new video every single Thursday. The intention of this channel is to give back by sharing what I've learned on my journey to financial independence. If you want to become financially successful as an employee, there are two things you have to do. Number one, you have to earn more money. And number two, you have to manage your money, meaning you have to learn how to invest that money so that your money can be working for you. Now, I've made a lot of videos on number two, addressing part two of that, which is on managing money, investing money, and so on. So we're going to leave that alone for the purposes of this video. We're only going to focus on number one, which is earning more money as an employee. I'll leave some links to some videos down in the description box that talk about addressing number two, how to manage your money, how to invest your money, and so on, so you could check those out. Let's talk about the topic at hand, how to make more money, or how to be a successful employee. In order to be a successful employee and make more money, you have to become an intrapreneur. What the heck is an intrapreneur? Think of entrepreneur. What is an entrepreneur? An entrepreneur is someone who owns and operates their own business. An entrepreneur takes all of the financial risk to be able to have that business, to be able to have that freedom. But that's not enough. It's not just enough for an entrepreneur to have an idea or have a business. There are some key traits that an entrepreneur has to have in order to be a successful business person. And what are some of those key traits? Without these traits or without these behaviors, they will simply not be successful. And what are some of those key traits? Growth mindset. They have to be innovative. They have to be disciplined. They have to have exceptional work ethic. They have to think long term, and so on. And a successful entrepreneur, as we know, can make a lot of money. They can become financially successful very quickly in some cases. And so if you are not an entrepreneur, you are an employee working for another company, what can you do? That's where intrapreneur comes in. You have to become an intrapreneur. Intrapreneur is someone, if we use the entrepreneur's definition, intrapreneur is someone who works for another company. They can still think like an entrepreneur, they can still think like a business owner, and still have that mindset of having the growth mindset, being disciplined, being a long-term thinker. In other words, act and embody the spirit of an entrepreneur without taking any of the financial risk. Regardless of what you do in your company, regardless of where you are on the ladder in the company that you work for, if you started thinking and behaving like an entrepreneur, think what your life would become. Think about how that would change your job. Think about how that would change what you earn. It may not happen immediately. Of course, nothing happens immediately. Even an entrepreneur, in some cases, they don't even break even for years. So you have to always keep that in mind, right? You always have to give something first in order for you to get it back. You can't expect, if you open your own business, you can't expect to be profitable tomorrow. You might have to, not only you have to put in the seed money, you have to put in upfront investment. It might take you years to even break even, never mind make profit. So as an entrepreneur, you have to think of it the same way. So if you haven't been thinking like an entrepreneur, if you haven't been doing all of those things that I just mentioned, it's going to take some time for you to get there. And not only that, it's going to take some time for you to, or for other people, your boss, your company, to see that from you. It's going to take some time for that trust to be built so that you're given certain opportunities where you can make a lot of money. You can be an entrepreneur in your job regardless of what you do, whether you're an engineer or a manager or a cook or a dog walker, doesn't matter what you do. It really doesn't matter. Let's break it down step by step. Let's look at all of those traits and let's look at how you can begin being an entrepreneur in your job starting now. To do that, we have to look at and break down each of the traits that I mentioned earlier. There are 5 key traits, in my opinion, that almost every entrepreneur has, and therefore every entrepreneur should have as well. First of those 5 traits is having a growth mindset. What does that mean? Having a growth mindset means you're someone who wants to learn and grow. You're constantly learning, you're constantly improving what you do at your job. You are constantly wanting to learn new things. And when things don't work out, if you've tried something and it doesn't work out, you're willing to change and pivot. That's what an entrepreneur does, right? If a business idea doesn't work, or if something that they're practicing is not working, they're willing to take a look at it and they think, okay, that didn't work. I'm glad I tried that. And they're willing to change and pivot. They do this because they're passionate about what they do. They have the right attitude. They're optimistic. They know if one thing didn't work, another one will. And the second trait is being innovative. So look for new ways to solve old problems. Look for new ways to do things, to improve processes and so on. Be open-minded. Try different things. An entrepreneur has a vision for something greater, a vision that maybe others around him or her can't see. At least they can't see it yet. And there's always a desire and hunger to deliver value. And the third trait is being disciplined. Without this trait, nothing else is possible. What is discipline? Discipline is the ability or the willingness to do the basics over and over again. It's practicing the fundamentals every single day. Things that are required of an entrepreneur or an entrepreneur for that matter, things that are required to be done daily. They're not sexy things. These are the basic things, but they have to be performed consistently, regularly, daily. This is the bedrock of excellence. It's the willingness to be consistent. It's the willingness to do the hard things every single day. And number 4 is exceptional work ethic. Nothing happens if you're not willing to work hard and work for what it is that you want to achieve in life. And entrepreneurs and intrapreneurs, they don't half-ass anything. They're all in. They're doing what it takes day in and day out. They don't quit because it's 4:59 p.m. and it's time to go home, right? They don't leave projects half done. They do what it takes and they are rewarded in the end. And number 5, and the final trait on this list, is being a long-term thinker. And as an entrepreneur, you have to be a long-term thinker. So in your job, not only you have to think about what needs to be done today and this week, but your actions. How are your actions impacting your work, your company, the future of your department, the future of your company a year from now, 2 years from now, 5 years from now? So an entrepreneur always thinks long-term. So there you have it. I think if you practice those 5 traits, and if you really decide that you're going to be an entrepreneur in your job, the way you carry yourself will change, the way you think will change, the way you approach everything at your work, the way you approach problems and the way you look for solutions, all of that will change. And I assure you, it'll be visible to people who matter in your organization. And regardless of where you are, what company you work for, over time, these things are going to pay you big time. Thank you for watching. That's all for today. And if you liked the video, if you found it useful, please don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe if you haven't done so. I upload a new video every single Thursday, so I will see you next week. Thanks.